Hello and welcome to my video on the surface area of cones from 1.2. So first of all, let's take a look at this cone, and we'll notice that we have the formula right below it. So on this cone, when we have L is labeled as the side from apex, which is at the top corner, to a bottom edge. From apex to edge, that's L. And in this case, we have 5. Let's call it 5 centimeters. I should write that in black so it stays the same, so we're consistent. And the radius in this case is 3 centimeters. Now, just a reminder about Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem tells us that if we have a right angle triangle, which you can see right here is a right angle, then we can write a formula that compares the 3 sides. So we can label it ABC. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And so if you're not given L, or if you're not given R, you can actually find out the opposite side. Okay? So let's say, actually, I should make up some other numbers. Okay, let's start with 6 and 8. Okay, so the question is, what is L? Okay, so we have, whoa, what happened there? Undo. There's a button to undo. We have 6 on one side, and, let's put 6 there and 8 here. Right? So we need to figure out L. Okay, which is, in this case, position C. So, A squared is 8 squared, plus 6B squared is 6 squared, equals C squared, which is L squared, right? If we compare it to our original triangle. So, then 8 squared is 64 squared. Oh, whoops, not squared, just 64. 6 squared is 36. And that equals L squared. If we add those together, we get exactly 100. L is, so L squared. So then we square root both sides. L is the square root of 100, which is 10. So L is 10 centimeters squared. Or, sorry, just 10 centimeters. Okay, so you can calculate the other side using Pythagorean theorem, so we just gave that example. Now let's try plugging it into our equation that we have. So pi, and then r squared is 6 squared, plus pi r, so that's 6 again, times by L, which is, we said, 10 centimeters. How did I don't know how I did that. 10 centimeters. There you go. Okay, so now we just have to multiply all those things out. So 6 times 6 is 36, times pi, plus 6 times 10 is 60, times pi. Then we add those things together, we get 96 pi. And if we type that into our calculator, we end up with 301, or rounding up to 2, and centimeters squared. So the one trick that you could see with a cone is you have to use Pythagorean theorem to figure out the other side of it. Okay? If you can do that, then the other step here is actually, in my opinion, a little bit easier, even though it's more numbers technically that we're working with. Alright, so let's try this other one. And I always write down my equation before starting a question, so that I know what I'm starting with, what I'm working with. Pi r L. Okay, so here we have, just like the example in class, a traffic cone, and the top is cut off. So you'll notice that actually that's how cones are. They always have a little flat top. So we're finding this actual cone. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to find the surface area of the big cone, and then take off, so that's the orange cone, and then take off the black cone that is at the top here. Maybe I'll make it blue. The blue cone that is at the top. So we need to subtract that. So let's get the orange cone first, the entire orange cone. So that's going to be in orange here. So pi, what's r? Well, it's 6 squared plus pi, what's r? 6 times L is 15. Okay, so again, 6 times 6 is 36. Pi, 6 times 15, off the top of my head, is not, I'm not fast enough. I should be able to do that, but anyways, I just want to do it quickly. So 90 pi, then we add those together to get 126 pi. 126 pi equals 395.8. Oh, I haven't been doing decimals yet at all, so let's just round that up to 6. So that's 6 inches squared. Okay, that's great, but that's including. That's not actually the orange cone. That's including this tip that I just did in purple. So that's not really ideal. Whoops. I'll just leave that up there. What we need to do is we need to subtract the top cone. So let's write that out. So the top cone surface area is pi, and then the radius, which is 2 squared, plus pi times the radius, which is 2, times the L, which in this part is 3. So now we just have to add those things together. So 2 times 2 is 4 pi, plus 2 times 3 is 6 pi. We add those together, we get 10 pi. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add these things together, or actually subtract these things, because we have the total orange minus the blue at the top. So what we're going to do is have this, the final surface area is equal to 126 pi minus 10 pi, which, if we find the answer to that, is 116 pi, which 116 times by pi is 364 inches squared, which actually I should have done the other one just so you guys can see it. I should have shown this one. 31 inches squared. Okay, so those are kind of the two worst case scenarios. When I say worst case, I mean the most challenging questions that you guys could see when it comes to cones and surface area. I hope this video helps you guys understand surface area a little bit better, and good luck.